Hey everyone, this is Aaron St Denis, the FF Mad Scientist, and welcome to the Mad Science Lab podcast. Just getting feedback on the mic. Is that me? No?
Might be me. I don't know.
I've never heard it before. It's new. I always say I'm always amazed that I don't get feedback on my mic, because if you look at my setup, I am not like everyone wears earbuds. I have my microphone literally next to my speakers, and they're at full volume, and I'm constantly amazed nobody ever complains or never causes issues. But all righty, let's get into it after a brief technical prelude there. We are here for the NFL Week 10 quarterback waiver wire targets. Well, I guess we're going to start off with the quarterbacks. How's it going, guys? I got Jesse and Jeremy with me.
It's good. I was wondering if it was me because I got these like new headphones bought off TikTok for like $5. So I was like, we'll see if they're good or not. We'll find out. But yeah, because I was telling you I burnt mine in the oven, the one that fell down when I was making food last week. So I was like, all right, I need new headphones. So I was using just one for like a week, and it was super
$5 headphones may not be trustworthy. Is that what you're telling me?
You're telling me these Bumblebee Transformers editions straight from China are not trustworthy? I'm shocked.
Well, it could also be me because I'm relegated to the corner of my bedroom because I have about 6 people in my house right now, and my boy's sick, so I'm like trapped in a closet basically.
Nice. Awesome. All right, I guess we will get right into it then. We are going to start off with the quarterback waiver wire. Let's check out our options here. I'll run down the top 10 through sleeper. It's going to be some interesting ones, a lot of injuries. So we've got Josh Dobbs. Everyone was dropping him last week. They are picking him back up in Minnesota. Tommy DeVito, because it looks like Daniel Jones. He's officially done for the year with a torn ACL, correct?
Correct.
All right, Taysom Hill is next. This one's kind of misleading for me. If Taysom Hill is available on your waiver wire, pick him up as your tight end. You should never be playing him as your quarterback. I hate that they even include him as a QB anymore. Next up, we have CJ Stroud, which is amazing because I accidentally clicked on the Dynasty one there. How he is so readily available in Dynasty, I don't know. Still 77% available. I'll tell you what. I don't have
QB, yeah.
What's that?
Maybe one QB.
I don't know, one QB league. If he's available in my one QB league, him and Kyler should both be owned. But yeah. Kyler's next. Then we've got Sam Howell, Taylor Heineke, who I believe is getting the start again over Desmond Ridder in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. Baker Mayfield, Jared Goff, Purdy, and Deshaun Watson. Who do you guys want to talk about first?
Well, I'll hop in on the Deshaun Watson trade. So he was actually making throws downfield, and he looked a lot better than he had. So if I'm seeing that, I'm very interested in him with the offense just because of how good he is. But, like, realistically, I want to see Kyler. Like, Kyler's the guy I want to see. He's been a top 7 fantasy asset every time he's played every season on points per game basis. So if you're getting Kyler, like, that's very interesting. And not just for Dynasty, but redraft. Like, he's the guy I would love to have. Like, he's been my number 1 QB, like, the last 3 weeks on waivers. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I'm very excited for Kyler.
Yeah, I mean, you can't hate on Kyler, and obviously you know exactly what he is. It doesn't matter that the team is not great. You like that the defense is still terrible, and Kyler's just going to go around and, play hero ball as much as he can. But the guy that I would want slightly below Kyler, I want Josh Dobbs. I want all the Josh Dobbs. I wanted Josh Dobbs weeks ago when he was doing it all for the team Kyler's going to be piloting now. Starting this week. He looked amazing after looking terrible in that kind of, first quarter and a half there in Minnesota. But with all the news coming out about him doing, having literally no prep time, and he comes in and, they're just O'Connell's like feeding him, the plays in the headset, like when he's about to head up to the line. Not knowing guys' names, like he's just out there playing backyard ball, looking great. Once he has a handle on this offense, once Justin Jefferson is back, I think he's going to give you serviceable high-end to mid QB2 numbers for the rest of the season.
We have a question, but before I get to the question, I have one of my own. I know Sleeper's been trying a little too hard this year, and they changed pictures like, Taylor Swift is the picture for Travis Kelce. Is that legit Josh Jobs, or did they put in Mr.
Yeah, no, that's him. He's got he can't grow facial hair. It's like it's not like alopecia or something. It's an issue he has.
Alopecia?
He literally can't.
It's alopecia.
Yeah.
It looks like Mr. Clean.
So that's why I shared that post of the Vikings fans shaving their eyebrows.
Shaving his eyebrows, yeah.
You fucking
that's
idiots.
what that was about. I get it now.
Yeah.
I seen your post and I'm like, why would they do that? I get it. All right, let's get into the question here and then we'll switch back. Would you trade Jay Williams and McLaurin for Eckler? Javonte?
I am smashing.
I don't care.
I don't care
which Jay Williams it is. Yes.
Yeah,
it could be Javonte. It could be Jameson trade. Yes.
It could be Jamal. It could be, I'd take that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I'm amazed you can get it done after this week.
Yeah, me too.
All right.
Eckler's back, baby.
It's got to be Javonte, right?
Okay.
Yeah, I would assume it is.
Yeah.
Because if it's Jameson, it's like, oh yeah, he's worth nothing in redraft. So
yeah,
absolutely.
My choice here, which is funny, if you can get CJ Stroud, I take CJ Stroud. But it's funny because I literally, as we were getting ready, I submitted my buy low, sell high for Fantasy Pros, and my sell high was CJ Stroud. I love CJ Stroud. I think he's probably a top 12 quarterback, but the price you can get on him right now is insane. And I included this in my write-up, and you're going to think this is insane. The two trades I seen in Dynasty for CJ Stroud today. Which quarterback would you trade straight up for CJ Stroud?
So I have him as QB7 in Dynasty. I'd get a nice plus for Dak. Like I would do that for sure.
I seen someone give up Joe Burrow straight up. In another league, In another league, I seen someone not only give up Justin Herbert, they included a third-round pick with it.
Just like why? I don't. So like this is my issue with Stroud.
Well, because have you not seen Twitter today? People saying is he a top 3 dynasty quarterback now? And like I get it,
he doesn't run.
He's going. Well, look at this though. He's a crappy game, really good, crappy. Like he's bound to regress. Like he's going to alternate 30-point games with 12-point games here. Against,
it's the he's on the Tua band, he's on the Burrow band, like that stream of fantasy player. Like they're never going to be QB1. Like that's not what they're going to do. But they're going to be high-end asset for a long time. It's just he's never going to be like Allen or Hurts. It's just they're always going to be below. And somebody said they prefer Burrow to Allen, and I'm like, dude, Allen played worse. He scored more fantasy points last week. Like, what are we even doing here? Like, I just don't get it with people.
My favorite streamer, if you're desperate, is Sam Howell.
I was just going to say.
I don't want him as my QB1. If I'm on a bye week or an injury and I need a replacement, I love Howell because you are swinging for the fences. He could put up 35. He could put up 3.5. But I don't want him every week because you're going to have week winning and week losing weeks. I just, if it's my bye week, if I've got, Mahomes on bye this week? If I've got Mahomes and I'm in single QB, I will throw him in this week and just pray I catch lightning in a bottle this week. Other than that, like Jared Goff, I like him. I think he's a high-end 2, low-end 1. Deshaun Watson, similar range. I think I'd prefer Goff at this point over Watson. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I would. I would. Yeah. There's so much risk with Watson. Like, I still don't. I need to see it more long-term. In Dynasty, it's a different story, but in redraft, yeah, I'm definitely taking Goff. It's just so much safer.
Oh, for real. But 1 second for Howell. Like, he's thrown the ball over 40 times in 5 of 9 games. One game he threw it 39 times. The volume is there for Howell. Like, it's insane. And look at those finishes the last 5 weeks. 5, 8, 23. Okay. 1 and 10. Like, he's getting it done. They nuked their defense by sending away their pass rushers. So you look, teams are just going to score at will against Washington. Howell's going to have to keep hucking it, and he's got the weapons to do so. So I like him as a high-end QB2.
He's
on pace to break the passing record attempts that Brady set a couple years ago. Like that's what they're doing with him. So it's insane. I saw that stat and I was like, holy fuck. Yeah,
true volume
this, Jesse, because it's going to sound insane, but I said he was the poor man's Josh Allen. He has great rushing upside. He has crazy arm talent like Josh Allen. And much like Josh Allen, he has piss poor decision making with his throws. As you've seen with Josh Allen, the talent is there with the arm. The talent is there with the rushing. Have you seen a quarterback throw more pointless interceptions where in spots where he didn't need to? He's Josh Allen light is what he is. Obviously, he's not Josh Allen, but very similar. Good rushing upside, great arm, piss poor decisions.
I don't know about a poor man's Josh Allen. It might be a homeless man's Josh Allen, but you know.
Yeah, he's along that line. Yeah, he's on that wave of players. Yeah, for sure.
I I'm surprised that Derek Carr's on the trending down. I've seen some crazy stuff on Twitter this week about how good he is. I seen because I'm a Saints fan, so I do follow a lot of the Saints, and I seen one guy compare that the Saints fans were too hard on Derek Carr. This year he has the almost identical completion percentage to Drew Brees in his career. And I'm just like, did you just compare Derek Carr to Drew Brees?
Just tell me shut up.
Trying to pump up Derek Carr, and I get it, he's been better than people think, but like, no thank you.
But in the last month he played Houston, Jacksonville, Indy, and Chicago. Like, yeah, he's been better because the matchups have been pretty easy for him. So, he's fine. But I'd still rather take my upside swing on Howell or Dobbs.
Yeah,
for sure. You know what Carr is. He's capped.
Anybody else on here you guys want to discuss?
Not really.
I mean, Minshew's fine if you're really looking to stream it. Because, look at the roster percentages. These guys are all really high. Minshew's really low. He's at 28%. And, he has some decent matchups. Obviously, it's New England. But, if you want a roller coaster experience without the upside that Sam Howell has, Gardner Minshew is that guy, too. So, if you want something that you're streaming, I don't mind, throwing a dart at Minshew if you're desperate.
Yeah.
All right. That concludes quarterbacks. Let's get into it now with the Week 10 running back waiver wire options. Bring those bad boys up. We have this one's going to be where I want to discuss. I've been debating this one on Twitter all day. We start off with Keaton Mitchell, Ty Chandler, Antonio Gibson, Tyler Algier, Jalen Warren, and Chuba Hubbard. Keaton Mitchell, I suspected would be by far the hottest waiver wire ad of the week, and he is. And I shouldn't say I was debating it. I was discussing it with Heath Cummings on Twitter, and actually I think we agreed, but because he was saying that he's a must-add this week, and I agree he's a must-add. But the consensus we came to was that if you watch it, a lot of the touches and a lot of the production were with a huge lead, and it was Gus early. So this could be a fooled you game, as their show says. He's definitely someone you have to put a bid in on, and he's a must add. You can't leave him on the waiver wire. But it's entirely possible that you're going to add him, and he's going to do nothing, and it was just a big lead. Having said that, we didn't really come to a consensus. I think he got called away to a show. We didn't come to a consensus on what percentage of our fab budget we would be willing to contribute to him this week. I was thinking somewhere along the lines of 10%, but we also did note that you're in week 10 now. If you're running back needy, desperate at running back, and he's the only option, does budget really matter at this point? You're getting to the point where if you're 3-6, go spend your money because you can't take it with you. So I don't know. What do you guys think with Keaton Mitchell?
Yeah. I'm really not that interested in him. And you're saying, if you're desperate, I get it, but it was a huge lead. It was garbage time, and he just had made explosive plays. And even the reporter for the Ravens said today, there is no challenge to the starting job. It's still Gus Bus. It's Gus Edwards. Yeah. It's his show. So he's going to be maybe the RB2. Maybe he passes what the hell's the other
Justice Hill.
I can't remember. Yeah, maybe he passes Justice Hill to be the RB2. And it's a good offense, so you want him, but of the guys on the list, if Gibson's available, I'd rather take Gibson in his pass catching upside.
He was an awesome talent. I loved him coming out of college. And I've been saying he's been on my list of must stash. He's in my stash guide at King Fantasy Sports every week for the last 8 weeks. I said sooner or later, if he gets a chance, he's going to be awesome. This isn't how I wanted him to do it, though. If Gus Edwards is gone for the season, like J.K. Dobbins with an injury, okay, great. But in a blowout where how much of this is sticky, this is not the scenario where I want to, because this is the week where if you want Keaton Mitchell, you're going to have to blow your fab on him this week because he's not going to be available after that. So this is not the situation where, hopefully you listened to me and you stashed him for free for the last month on a taxi squad or wherever the hell else you could. But I don't know if I might put in a couple of $5 bids here, but I don't want to blow the bank here on this one.
No.
Jeremy?
This is where everyone's citing what I've heard is the 18% of snaps that Gus Edwards played. But in those 18% of snaps, he had a 10 yards per rush clip, and he scored 2 touchdowns. Right? Let's say Keaton Mitchell keeps this role. Gus still has the goal line role. And it's either Gus or Lamar punching it in. So, it's Gus Edwards. Keaton Mitchell is a fine, dart throw, like you're saying, but I'm not blowing more than 10% for sure.
I have the stats here to back up what you just said. Dave Richard from CBS on Twitter, he does a great snap count breakdown. And what he has is this is snaps with Lamar in the game. So before, they benched all their starters.
Yep.
And while the game was still snaps with Lamar, Justice Hill was at 55%. He had, 6 of 10 carries on, 6 of 10 snaps on third or fourth down. Gus was in for 35%, 2 of 2 inside the 10 and goal line. Keaton Mitchell was only in for 20% of snaps when the game was still in doubt. So,
I think the ideal move with Mitchell is to pair him with one of your starters and upgrade a position. Like that's the way you go about doing it because that's the way you get the most bang for your buck, I think.
If you have Gus and you're relying on Gus, though, this might be a situation where you do blow it just to handcuff it.
Yeah, I like that.
Sure. Or sell Gus, as sell him high. But I do like that they're kind of capping his touches, which is what I was saying last week. What he needs all along is you can't be running him for the, giving him the most touches of his career in his age 27 season. So.
Do you guys like Rachaad White going forward? I loved Rachaad White in the offseason. I haven't liked what he's done this season. I'm bringing up on my other screen right now. Okay, so next few weeks faces Titans. Don't want to play them. 49ers don't want to play them. Colts, Panthers, indifferent. Falcons D, don't want to face them. Packers don't want to face them. Jags, indifferent. Saints don't want to face them, and then the Panthers. So out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Out of 9 remaining games, there are 6 I want no part of, and I wasn't that high on Rachaad White to begin with. So that's a no.
Yeah, it's a touchdown. Like he had 2 touchdowns last game. That's what really boosted his score. If you look at his stats, otherwise,
run defenses the rest of the way.
Yeah,
and he's been still inefficient all year. Like it's just, I don't know. He's fine. Like you're okay with him as an RB2, but like if you're viewing him as an RB1 rest of the season, like I do have some trepidation with that.
Yeah, but I don't want him for his rushing inability. I want him for his ridiculous check down pass catching role. He's still seeing it. Even last week he didn't need to see it, but 6, 7, and 4 receptions in his last 3 games. Like he is the option that Baker looks to when his first read isn't open most of the time, right? The Cade Otton has been more involved lately, but I still like Rachaad White and what he's able to do in the passing game. So like you say, they're probably not going to be able to rush it very effectively in half of those games, Aaron. But you better believe he's going to be seeing that receiving work. Yeah. So I think his floor is pretty solid.
I thought that from the beginning of the season, but to start, he had targets. He had 2, 5, 3, 3, 4. I wonder why all of a sudden, like even you would think if he was going to spike in targets, it would have been the first game after the bye, but it was only 4. I wonder why the sudden spike in week 7 and 8. I don't remember the game scripts there, but I don't know. I just it's familiar to me. I would have expected him to get high targets all along.
Yeah, like he's a volume guy. You know he's gonna see volume, so like you're fine with him in your roster. I get worried if we pump him up too much.
Yeah, RB2, I agree.
So aside from Keaton Mitchell, we don't really have any, I don't mind these guys as bench stashes. I think Warren would probably be my favorite. Chuba Hubbard is interesting. He could be taking over from Sanders, but they both kind of, I'll have to bring those damn numbers up. I took them off. I feel like they were pretty even between him and
Sanders.
They
were even.
There's all 4 here. Gibson, Algier, Warren, and Hubbard. All 4, I think, warrant some value. Chandler is only being added because Akers is done for the season. I have little to no interest there. I don't mind these guys here. I don't really want to start any of them. I think if I had to, I would start Hubbard or Warren. I don't know. It's kind of tight for me. What do you guys think?
Yeah. I'll have Gibson as the highest of these guys, and then I would go Chuba Hubbard. I'm chasing volume with these guys, and we talked about Gibson being in that pass offense. Like it's an insane amount of pass offense. Like it's going to be the most in the NFL. So yeah, like I'll taste the pass catching running back in that offense over, it's just so tough with those Pittsburgh Steelers running back, man. Like I don't.
Yeah.
Find the exact.
Yeah, but Chuba is kind of doing what Warren's been doing all season, right? Mm-hmm. So I do like Warren kind of, especially with, tough run defenses, Green Bay, Cleveland, Cincinnati. It's going to be hard, tough sledding on the ground, and they just use it more creatively, whether that's, a good thing or just a product of poor Matt Canada doing whatever the heck he's doing over there. But yeah, I prefer Warren because he's had the role all season and he's looked good. Like I said, he's the Tony Pollard ish guy. And he looks good in that limited role.
This is interesting for Chubbard. Well, the carries and the work ended up being about even. It was the snap share was 65% for Hubbard, 25% for Sanders, and 10 for Blackshear. So it was a lot more of Hubbard. I wonder if he's being used more as a blocker or not. That's interesting to me that there was such a wide snap share difference, but the workload was essentially even. I'm trying to find, I don't know where the hell he has the Steelers on here. I'd like to see the breakdown of their workload. Oh, because it was the Thursday nighter. I'll have to scroll back. Oh, there it is. Okay, so the snap share was 60% Najee, 42 for Warren. Najee was 5 of 5 inside the 10. Warren seeing 75% of the work on 3rd and 4th down, as long as it wasn't red zone. So it looks like Warren's getting most of the 3rd and 4th down work between the 20s. Najee looks to be the goal line back, though. So that's kind of interesting. Anyone else on there that you'd like to discuss, gentlemen?
I mean, what are you guys doing with Algier? I guess because that's just the weirdest offensive usage. And
Stay away.
It's just a struggle. I don't know.
When can you play him? When can you play him is the question I have, right? At least with these other 3 guys, like maybe not Gibson, but at least with Warren Hubbard, they have a role. They're seeing the percentage. But week to week, Gibson and especially Algier, like, is Arthur Smith gonna wake up and finally take the advice that everybody and his mother is giving him on Twitter to just, to just actually play Bijan Robinson? Or is he going to continue to give Jonnu Smith goal line carries? Who knows what the heck that guy's going to do week 2? So.
Well, listen to his carries since week 5, 17, 13, 21, 8, and 12. It's all over the place. Like, Algier's it's a wild experience with Tyler Algier.
Crazy.
Yeah, I don't really want to be trusting Arthur Smith. It's just, no thank you. Although I don't really want to trust Ron Rivera, so.
At least
stay away from both
we're
of
just
those
gonna
guys.
chuck it downfield. Like, I appreciate that aspect from being. He's like, I got Patrick Mahomes back here. You're like, no, you got Sam Howell. He's like, it's Sam Howell.
All righty, let's get into the Week 10 wide receiver waiver wire, which is always, it's always fun. You never know what's fool's gold and what's not. So let's bring those bad boys up. Run through the list. There are 8. We have Noah Brown. That feels like fool's gold if I ever seen it. One good week there. Tank Dell, Khalil Shakir, Jahan Dotson, Demario Douglas, Quentin Johnston, Jalen Guyton, and JSN. So we see a lot of names that have been on the waiver wires for a while. Some have been hits, some have not. Jalen Guyton makes his way on here because Josh Palmer just went to IR. Quentin Johnston, I think, is going to be, he's being dropped just as often as he's being added. So that's impressive that he's on the way up and the way down at the same time. I'm not a fan of, I think on this list, I want Tank Dell. If I need immediate production, I'd like Tank Dell, followed by Jahan Dotson. If I can afford to wait a couple of weeks, I like Douglas and I like JSN. I think JSN led the Seahawks in receiving again, didn't he? 82% snap share. That is a season high by a lot. That is interesting. I like that.
Yeah, he saw 41% of first read targets last week. Like, it's just that offense was broken. And they're like, hey, guess what? Let's check it out at JSN and get nothing out. It was, that game was frustrating as hell. So I don't know. The game got so out of hand really quick. Like, I think it kind of shifted what they were doing. And the Seahawks the offense made so many mistakes where you're just watching it. Like, I was pulling my hair out even though I don't have any hair. But I like Tank Dell. He's by far the best. And then I'd be fine with Pop Douglas. Like, he had 7 targets again. Like, he's the first read in that offense. Like, it's points, man. Like, he's gonna give you a much higher floor and ceiling than Noah Brown, unless Noah Brown hits those touchdowns. But
it's Noah Brown at 6 for 153 and 1. Like, that's not at all sustainable. I forget. Do you remember last week who was it who had 51 yards per catch or something?
It was Rashid Shaheed.
I'd like to see what he came crashing down to this week. Sorry,
wait, but hang on. I'm going to defend Noah Brown for a second, right?
Oh, that should be good.
Look, C.J. Stroud is not going to throw for 5 touchdowns a game. Noah Brown is not going to be the overall wide receiver 3. Okay, no one's expecting that, but you can absolutely pick him up and expect back end wide receiver 3 production, probably as a floor as long as Robert Woods is out. Tank Dell is going to do what Tank Dell does, but Dalton Schultz has been absolutely crushing in the last few weeks. I don't think that his what he's doing is sustainable. He's just not that good of a player. The role has been there for him. If Woods is out, I'm going to fire up Noah Brown in my flex if I have to. You should have better options, but for me, I'm going with I'll pick up Noah Brown, but not ahead of Tank Dell or Dotson. or Pop.
I would wait a week until they play Arizona. I don't want to play them against Cincinnati. So like, if you fire them up against Arizona on that defense, like I like that a lot more for Noah Brown.
Fair.
So Rashid Shaheed, after being the hot waiver pickup last week, averaging 51 yards per target or per catch, this week he averaged 7.3. So yeah,
I mean that's not terrible. It doesn't kill you. It's just not great.
Well, here's the thing, right? Noah Brown is not the wide receiver 1 on his team. That's Tank Dell. So go get the wide receiver 1. He's not Demario Douglas, who's the wide receiver 1 on his team. So go get Demario Douglas, right? You want to look toward the production that's sustainable. And Noah Brown, no, it's not sustainable, but he could be a wide receiver 3 for sure.
I think they're more interesting to rank by roster percentage because obviously Noah Brown is the most added because he was the most widely available.
Yeah,
you couldn't add 350,000 shares of Tank Dell because he was owned. So, but like I said, I would go Dell, Dotson, JSN, and Demario Douglas. I don't really care to start anyone else on that list there. I don't even really want to stash any of these guys. But I don't know about
Shakir.
I draft heavy wide receivers, so I also steer clear of the wide receivers and the waiver wire. I don't, like I said, normally I don't need it because I always, it's running back for me is always the position I need. And even when these players come up like the Shaheeds, I'm never spending 25% on Shaheed. Okay, Tank Dell at this point I think has proven he's worth it. I don't mind spending a lot on him, but Dotson,
drop it all.
Yeah, exactly. Dotson, I'm spending 10%. Douglas and JSN maybe 10%. Douglas 5%. Like I'm not like who do we have here?
Well, like
it's a bad week for running backs though too. So
it just depends what you're looking for, right? And wide receiver is much more replaceable in finding that production. Like we can find these guys like Noah Brown who come along each and every week, right? Like if you're looking for an impact running back, you got to spend up. Like that's just what it is.
Yeah, like the wide receiver more so than anywhere. It's just one random week. I don't know. Like the running back, you tend to see it. Okay, Jerome Ford is going to get the start with nobody in front of him this week. Here comes a big spike week, and then you get a spike week. Everyone's back, and it's like, okay, he's going to suck again. We get more of these receivers with just one random, unexplained game because, Tank Dell went out with an injury in the first quarter. He had one big spike game, and then he's never heard from again. It's more random, it feels, at wide receivers. So.
Yeah, go the guy on the bottom of the 10 trending down list, Tutu Atwell, go get him. Because, Stafford's coming back and he's going to play. I would much rather have Tutu Atwell in that offense than a lot of these guys on this other side. He's going to.
I was going to shout out the guy at the top of that list or near the top is Josh Downs. I don't know what his injury status is, but it's not a season ender. It's a week, maybe 2. Maybe he plays next week. So go get Josh Downs, man, if people are dropping him.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to find out some news on that because, you always get worried when you hear knee injury, right? So hopefully nothing major.
They're on bye after this week. I don't know if
so people will probably drop him going into the bye.
I'd like to look and see if he's playing this week because if he's not playing this week, I don't want to hold him for a sit and then a bye.
Depends where you are.
You pick him up. That's an interesting point though because I think if he's dropped in your league. Pick him up at the on the bye. Pick him up on the bye because he's coming back with Tampa and Tennessee after that.
Yep.
Those are good matchups. Yeah. So he's worth stashing on the bye. I just don't want to do it if he's not playing this week. So that's an interesting one. Anybody else here that strikes your fancy on either side?
No. I mean, obviously, if you really want to go with QJ, but thank you.
Leave him alone.
It's just a disaster. I mean, Osborne's. He was not bad. It's I actually got a trade offer for him, and I was like, I don't need him, so no, thank you. But yeah, he's like another guy that will give you points. He's solid, and Josh Dobbs can actually support him, unlike Jaren Hall. So we don't even have to do the Jaren Hall experience. You get Josh Dobbs. So as long as he's playing, I'm fine with him too.
Boy, was Christian Watson a swing and a miss by a lot of people this offseason.
It's brutal.
There was nothing to say that he could be any good this year. And then at one point, I seen him as a top 12 dynasty wide receiver at one point. And it's going, what the hell are we doing? He had 4 good games.
People jump the shark there.
Yeah, with the Hall of Fame quarterback, right? So
yeah. Into Jordan Love.
You saying that's a downgrade?
Just a slight.
Smidge.
But that's just breaking my heart all over again for Garrett Wilson.
Take a deep breath.
It's rough.
Yeah.
It's rough, man. It's rough.
Pour one out.
It's so bad watching that. I was like, oh man. Well, and they have like the worst offensive line in the league too on top of it, so it just makes Zach Wilson even worse. It's like, yeah.
Oh, and Garrett Wilson's wide open, and like the times he does hit him, he's just making magic happen. It's painful.
Dude, I turned on that game, and the first throw was like 5 feet over someone's head. I go,
time to take a pause and a deep breath. We're about to get into the tight end waiver wire. This.
K-Dot and anyone?
Ooh, Johnny. Hey, there's some not bad names.
No, that's what the problem is. A lot of the ones I wanted I own everywhere. I have one league where I'm stashing, like I swear I'm hoarding young tight ends. It's a deep dynasty league, but I have Mayer, Otten, Trey McBride, Jake Ferguson. There's one other one. I might have Cole. Like literally, I'm just stacked with like stockpiling young upside tight ends that all seem to have hit in 1 week. So I got a ton of trade offers for them. But I actually, it's funny. The offer I took on the show the other day that we all laughed off and turned down. I got approached about it at work. He thought that I was out of my mind for not taking it. It was my Michael Mayer for his Dalton Schultz in Dynasty. I'm 8-1. I'm 8-1, and I have George Kittle. He's like, oh, well, you're starting Trey McBride this week. I'm like, well, I prefer Trey McBride over Schultz in Dynasty. I probably prefer Michael Mayer, and I'm only starting them because George Kittle's on a bye. I'm like, oh, well, Schultz has been good. Kittle's been inconsistent. Kittle's tight end 6. Schultz is tight end 8. When Schultz comes back, he's never getting started over Kittle. So why would I trade a good young upside tight end for Dalton Schultz? I didn't understand it, but we'll get into it. Oh, Jesus Christ. Taysom Hill.
Taysom's the GOAT, baby.
Taysom Hill. And I have a Taysom Hill jersey, and just God.
It's crazy that he's as consistent as he's been. And then did he pass, rush, and catch a touchdown last week?
No, he didn't rush one.
He didn't rush one.
He led the team in rushing, though.
Crazy. How many points did he score? Was he the tight end one? He must have been the tight end one.
Tight end one. Yeah, tight end one. Like, it's just wild. You just ride this lightning until it
That's going to be back-to-back weeks with a top 3 finish and probably 4 weeks in a row with a top 6 finish.
He's definitely up there.
Good God. Oh, I'm going to end up trading for Taysom Hill in this league, aren't I?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Do I trade him straight up for George Kittle?
He's going to do it again against Minnesota. He's going to.
I wouldn't go that far, but in redraft, go get Taysom Hill, man. Go get him on your roster.
Christ. All right, so let's run down the list of insanity. Taysom Hill, K-Dot, and Jonnu Smith, who I'm surprised isn't the most dropped. What did he do this week? Oh, that's why.
He caught a 60-yard touchdown.
Oh, I remember. It was all on the
screen pass.
Yeah. Dalton Schultz, Jake Ferguson, Cole Kmet, and Hunter Henry, who must have done something because I would have expected.
He caught a touchdown,
He got a touchdown. He got 7 targets. It's just,
good.
It was okay.
What do you guys think of this lovely, lovely mess? I'm surprised Daniel Bellinger's not up on this list with Darren Waller being out at least 4 weeks. Same with, I guess there's nobody really backing up Dallas Goedert. What is it? Jack Stoll and is it Albert O? Albert O's there, right?
I think they have like an old tight end convert there on the roster as well. I think there's another guy too, but I'm not sure.
There's another guy too that's also a quarterback, but Albert O is there.
So
I'm just saying. Albert O was good. It is. Where is it?
It's Albert O, Jack Stoll. It's Grant Calcaterra. That's like the 6th-round pick from last year. It's just nothing. But Albert O is second round. That's right.
Go trade for Devonta Smith if you you want to get that lost Dallas Goedert production.
That's the takeaway from all this. Is just
100%
for Dallas for a little bit of Devonta Smith. Thank you. Who are you targeting here on the waiver? The upside, not the downside. Why is Trey McBride trending down? Is he going into a bye?
I don't know.
I think he just had a down week.
It was a tight end who put up 7 points. That's not. No, it's a tight end. That's what they do.
So he's going to bounce back up because he's getting Kyler back. So it's like, everybody's like, oh, Trey McBride. It's like, yes, it was like you just stashed Trey McBride. We were talking about adding him, deal with the Clayton team experience, and then you get Kyler Murray, right? So it's like, that's what it is. But I'm very much, if of these guys, just give me Taysom Hill. I don't even care. The upside swings are so massive with him. I'll take it. If you want actually somebody who's going to see consistent production, go Schultz or Ferguson. Or like Komet's
Yeah,
down there,
Ferguson.
which I was kind of surprised to see he's down there. So you can go Komet. It's not bad either. It's just, I don't think Komet's that good personally. So that's my issue.
Yeah.
But I think he's fine.
He is being hyper targeted by Bajent though. So I was looking into that, and he was being hyper targeted by Bajent. I plugged him in a lot of places over in Joku, and a few places, and that worked out last week.
What do we think of that offer?
Chig, I mean, if you could do it, that's fine. I don't really care about Chig.
Well, look, I have Trey, Kittle, and Mayer.
Just package like a garbage fourth with it just for fun, and they like, ooh.
No, you don't have to do that. You don't even have to.
I know.
Just send it.
I know.
Send it.
Yeah.
If I'm
rebuilding, I'll take that deal. Yeah. Like if I'm rebuilding, sure. If I'm contending,
I'll take the shot on Chig.
I'm not rebuilding. Where is it? I'm 8-1.
Yeah, so. I'm about to go do that in the League Winners League where I have like just a tight end, just motley crew, and it's like Laporta, and it's just been nobody else. I'm like, all right, we'll go get Taysom Hill.
You know what's going to happen? So if this trade gets accepted live on air, do not add Taysom Hill. Every time I play Taysom Hill, he falls off the fucking face of the earth.
Yeah, not next week.
Yes,
we just saw that he's gonna crush again, Minnesota.
So I will say this question about Josh Dobbs, like we got to be careful because we were watching some tape. He literally did not trust what they were doing offensively. Like he had wide open reads and he just didn't take them. So
okay.
He might have some struggles, but yeah.
They get New Orleans next week and San Fran gets Jacksonville. No, I'm starting Purdy for sure next week.
Purdy is on bye, so.
No, he's getting off.
No, he just came off bye.
Oh, sorry.
They get Jacksonville this week and Dobbs gets New Orleans. I don't want to face New Orleans. I'm starting Purdy this year.
I agree.
Anybody else on that tight end lovely list here? I want no part of Hunter Henry, I can tell you that.
No. Otten's nice. Komet's fine for now. Ferguson. I want Ferguson. I think Dak is starting to put it together. They should have done more against Philly. I don't think Dak is a world beater, but we know what we know about Dak and that offense is they hyper target the tight end. I want Ferguson.
Good too. Wonder what it would take to get me Komet. I already sent this guy Kittle straight up, and he turned it down 3 weeks ago.
Interesting. Unless they're rebuilding, I don't. Yeah,
he is. He's a rebuilder. He's last place. He's winless.
Yeah, then there's zero shot I do that. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm keeping Komet, but like, I really don't want Komet. So you're talking to the guy that's been like, Komet's not good, but he's seen targets, so I kind of have to recheck my evaluation.
That was a hell of a catch he had last week. And totally bailed Bajent out of just a ridiculous throw for no reason. No business throwing that ball.
Bajent's wild. Like the whole Tyson Bajent, he's like a very discounted version of Justin Fields, where he's going to give you the rushing. It's just like some of that. But yeah, he's not that good.
Dalton Schultz, I have an interesting question now. With all the receivers back and healthy, why the hell is he getting a spike in targets? Why didn't he get it while Dell was out? Dell's back, and now he's at 10, 7, 5, and 11. Why the hell is he getting so many targets? What's Stroud throwing 60 times a game?
I think what it is if you look at the games, if you look at the games where he's being hyper targeted, it's they can't get the run game going, right? Look at the defenses they're playing. It's Atlanta, it's New Orleans, it's Tampa, it's stout fronts, right? So if they're playing a stout front and they're going to have a lot of trouble getting the run game going, then you can probably fire him up.
That's exactly. He had a bye and worked his way through the NFC South, and you can't run in the NFC South. That's exactly what it is. Tampa, Carolina, New Orleans, Falcons. Good call.
They're probably going to try to run it more against Cincy because they give up one of the higher explosive run rates in the NFL. So like people run on them. So
what you're saying is expected dead this week?
Yeah, I would.
He gets
to answer Nino's question.
Noah Brown.
Here's an interesting one. Are you guys playing Howell or Stroud this week? Because I have not done my rankings fully on it, but
I have to look. Let me look 1 second. I'm going to try and bring it up. Week 10. Oh, for fuck's sakes. Who'd you say, Howell or Stroud?
Yeah.
Howell is playing New England.
Howell gets Seattle. I'm going fuck.
Oh, yeah.
The matchup I want to say Howell, but I don't think I can say Howell over Stroud.
Yeah.
Who's Stroud playing?
Cincy.
I
just feel Stroud I feel like has higher upside, but a much safer floor. I think I got to go Stroud regardless.
Yeah. Howell's just riskier.
I think Howell has the safer floor, to be honest. He's just throwing it so much. It's so close, but yeah, if you're playing Howell over Stroud, I think that's just probably not a good idea.
Stroud got 58.
I'm trusting the much better quarterback.
His
It's like,
low,
let's trust
his
Stroud.
low is 14, 15 points. I feel like Sam Howell's low on the season is going to be 3 points.
Well, he
Yeah,
got
but it was just
murdered in
one-
that one game.
Well, 3
against
One
points.
week
Buffalo.
in Buffalo.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that Buffalo
no,
week
but
was
They're
rough.
both similar.
I mean, I like the matchup for Howell, but yeah, I think Stroud has the
He's
edge.
far more consistent than I thought. I just got him back in this league. I traded Will Levis after Will Levis's blow up game straight up for Howell in this league. I'm glad I made that deal.
That's a tough one though.
Well, not right now. It's not. Look at this for Howell. After looking at that, I don't feel too bad about it. Howell's actually half decent. QB6. Good God, I got him on my bench. Well, so who should I start benching, Lamar or Joe Burrow to play him? Look at this roster.
Neither.
Take a second to look at this roster.
Yeah, that'll do. That'll do the trick.
Yeah. I don't know. You're gonna have to sit Cooper Kupp.
My
now.
bench is good enough to finish second place in this league.
Nice.
Yeah, like we're bringing in Gibbs, bringing in those guys. Yeah, that'll do.
All right. Well, I guess unless there's any other questions, that is a wrap on our waiver wire show for week 10. Oop. Right as I said that. Nope, you are welcome.
Gotcha, Nino.
Right.
All right, guys, check back. It looks like as of now, we do not have an episode of the People's Court. There have been no arrests, which is odd for the NFL. Come on, in, put me in the ground.
Somebody arrest Arthur Smith.
For real. God, just send Bijan after him.
No, the problem is I can't get anyone to argue the other side. They're just like, fuck it, execute him. We're just
going back in time.
What do you think about your team's execution? He said, I'm in favor of it.
You're like,
Are they still leading the division? That could be the problem.
I'm not talking about this. I quit. All right, guys. Thank you for watching the NFL Week 10 Waiver Wire Show. For Aaron, Jesse, and Jeremy, this has been the Mad Science Lab podcast. Take care. We will see you Thursday at noon for our, I believe it's the NFC because it's Bears Panthers. NFC.
Oh God, yeah.
Barn burner. I ended on that note. A barn burner. Take care, everyone.
Later.